Witches, it's me, Luna, here with an unboxing for you. And, you know, for a hot second, I thought about straightening my hair, and then I thought, no. So here I am, commando for you. Let's get to the business at hand, shall we? I today am doing the wrong frame. Hold on. Jesus criminy. Today, I am unboxing the Before Tarot, which was published after the After Tarot. So I will link my unboxing of the After Tarot at the end of this. I have not gone back and watched this before I did this one, so it might be interesting back to back. This is by Corrine Kenner, artwork by Ian and Simona Rossi. It's funny, Ian, E-O-N instead of I-A-N. Interesting. Published by Scarabeo. Take a step to the past, looking at the arcana you know with different eyes. It says the same thing there, only the other way. All right. We have, I don't have a copyright date on the bottom of this. This one was $32 in the US. So let's go inside and take a, wait, back. I knew I was forgetting something. Take a step to the past, looking at the arcana you know with different eyes. The Before Tarot is the mirror to the After Tarot. All the traditional arcana had been seen through a different light, no more as a mere snapshot of a present moment, but as living archetypes connected to the flow of time. Only in this way they can tell us their complete story. Interesting, all the traditional arcana had been seen through a different light. I don't think they really needed the had been. Oh well. Every arcana is depicted one moment before the traditional image. All the cards show a slightly different interpretation of the familiar arcana. The meaning is the same, but the card is taken one step back in time to his immediate past. The deck provides an unparalleled vision and depth to the traditional images and also suggests to us how the arcana came to be and what story they are telling. The English is a little off. The grammar's a little off. You can tell this was written by a non-English speaker. The deck provides and also suggests, but we have suggest. Anyway, sorry, Virgo brain at work here. Focusing on the roots of every meaning, the Before Tarot helps the reader to look at the flow of time. Welcome to the Before Tarot, Scarabeo, in a little snappy box. Give you that. Oh, look. We've got the High Priestess there and lovely images inside. I mean, these boxes are absolutely beautiful. So this looks like Temperance filling up the cups. And then we have the book called Foresight, A Guide to the Before Tarot by Corrine Kenner. This is copyright 2018, so it has not been out for very long. And we get beautiful color images of all the cards. And we'll go to that next. Nice little ribbon pull. Okay. Here are the backs. Absolutely beautiful. Let's zoom in. Why don't I have this kind of cadence today? I don't know. But I will try to quit it before I drive you crazy. Okay. So here we go. Beautiful backs to the cards with the roses and the lilies, traditional. And here's one of the facing cards, as Scarabeo does usually have a couple facing cards in order to block the deck. I hope that the light isn't going to be a pain in the rear to you. Let's see here. Okay. Sorry. It's like, where is the sun coming through? There we go. And then we have the second special tarot invitation. And this is that tarotassociation.net that Scarabeo has going on. And it's actually kind of a cool thing. Invites you to learn more about your tarot deck and follow the fool's footsteps, blah, 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 blah. But you can go on their tarotassociation.net and there's a lot going on. I'll say no more. Tarosophy. That's the kind of other name for the Tarot Association. At any rate, here we go with the images. The Fool. So we've got the Fool. In the traditional image, he's usually smelling a rose, and he's got a dog biting at his heels. So here we have the Fool just picking the rose, plucking the rose. And the dog looks like he's about to bite his own tail. And he almost looks like he's about to step in some dog poo there. But, you know, that's a loose interpretation. Okay, so the moment before, where he's gathering a rose, and now, I mean, I'm going to go to the book quickly here to see, you know, what they say about, okay, so the book of the Before Tarot gives you all three images of the before, the standard, and the after. That's amazing. So, gather you rosebuds while you may. There is a phrase, and then we talk about key symbols, keywords, astrology, and instant interpretation. That's wonderful. Boy, does that save a lot of doing, doesn't it? Okay, so let's just go through the images. Pardon me. Here's the Magician. Looks like in the process of placing the things on the altar, lifting up the sword, the wand in hand. We've got another wand on the table, and a pentacle there, and a cup. Here is the High Priestess with an owl landing on her moon. And she's holding the scroll and the key, and there's a little flame happening there. I think I'm going to push myself to the side and maybe bring you in just a little bit closer. There, I like that better. So you can see on the High Priestess that little flame in her lap. All right, there's the Empress with actual children in her lap, and there's a dove coming in to land, kind of echoing the High Priestess's owl. Here's the Emperor, not yet seated on his throne. He's holding the lamb. He's just about to take his seat of authority. The Hierophant. We've got the supplicants before. Now, see, I'm so curious because I want to see how everything changes. So the Hierophant's just sitting there. The supplicants are just arriving. In the standard, they're bowing before him. In the After Tarot, he's actually revealing the book to them. Here are the Lovers. So she's down on the ground, and he's lifting her up. You had me at hello is the phrase here. The phrases are wonderful. Okay, let me go back again. Sorry. Magician, alternate realities. High Priestess, silence is golden. The Empress, the hand that rocks the cradle, rules the world. The Emperor says, stand and deliver. Papal authority is the Hierophant. You had me at hello is the Lovers. The Chariot says ready to ride. So he's getting in, ready to go. Strength, Beauty and the Beast. Then we have the Hermit, about to light his lamp, a higher calling. The Wheel of Fortune. We don't have the creatures kind of on the wheel just yet. This one says one good turn deserves another. Justice, the dove taking flight. A fair hearing. Okay. And, you know, they really do have to have the essence of the traditional card contained in their meaning, because otherwise you wouldn't be really reading a tarot deck. It would be a whole separate thing. So here's the Hanged Man, new perspectives. The Death card. I see dead people. It's not really a change. I mean, the standard has bodies coming up out of the grave. This one does not. You see these little blue flames above the graves. And the after shows the sun has come up. So this is night. Standard is sun coming up. After is the sun is up. Temperance, the fountain of youth. All right. Very interesting. We've got the devil, the puppet master. I mean, that's pretty well the way it goes for all of the devil cards, right? And I'm loving, let's mention the artwork. The artwork is beautiful. It's detailed. It does have that flat-ish look of the traditional images, but I mean, just look at these and the artwork. Look at the muscles on the before tarot. Very much more defined, lots of shading and definition. It's beautiful. Here's the tower. The lightning is striking all around. It has not yet struck the tower. So you can see people here are kind of, I don't know, trapped in the tower. There's people on the way to them. This one says the gathering storm. Okay. Danger, drama, escape, insight. A tower is a fortress where wanderers seek shelter from the storm. So there's a storm, a gathering. So you can really get different, you know, you're going to get different nuance from these than from the traditional. So you could see that these people are either trapped in the tower and somebody's coming to get them out. You see a staff or a sword here. Or you could see that these people are going to the tower for shelter from the storm. The star is hope springs eternal. That's pretty traditional for the star. The moon, light and shadow. Look at the little yods coming down. So interesting. I mean, this is certainly a deck that you can go way, way deep into. Here's the sun. Look at the babies just kind of floating, levitating up off the horse or on the way. Look at the light coming out of the sun's mouth. It says Carpe Diem. The sun is the source of light and heat on earth, and the baby is beaming. The sun floods the earth with light, beaming a smiling child gently to earth, where a white horse waits to carry it to even further glory. So this is kind of like a child being born. Interesting. Judgment. Rise and shine. Yep. And the world, look, we have both male and female here, not just the woman. Full circle is what it says. Okay. Now, when we go into the minors, we do have the same phrase with all of them. Wonders never cease, this says, and we have a fish here instead of a dove. The 2 says perfect strangers. The 3, play on. The 4 says drown your sorrows. Oh. And then interesting that the standard 4 is like, well, it didn't work. It didn't work, so he's refusing the cups. Okay, 5 of Cups, all's fair in love and war. And with idiot cats. Home is where the heart is the 6. 7, be careful what you wish for. Interesting. Because, you know, this brings in the wish idea, which is traditionally the 9 of Cups. It's a card of dreams about to be populated with your fondest hopes and darkest fears. Okay. 8 of Cups, one for the road. Drinking one of those cups. The 9, the more the merrier. 10, when it rains, it pours. Okay. The page says, still waters run deep. And we have full 2 pages for each of the courts. Interesting. Knight is romantic heroes. The Queen is ebb and flow. And the King, high tide. just fascinating. All right, now we go into the Pentacles. Here's the Ace, an offer you can't refuse. The 2, to infinity and beyond. All right. The 3, great minds think alike. That definitely brings in the idea of planning. The traditional is more about execution. In the process of executing a plan. This is in the planning stage of the plan. The 4 says, show me the money. Oof. 5, a light in the darkness. Okay. That's kind of turns the 5 of Pentacles on its head, because, you know, you feel like being out in the cold with the 5 of Pentacles. Poverty, desperation, survival instincts, fear, anxiety, lost. So we have the traditional meanings, really. But instead we've got just a dog outside looking inside and feeling the being left out. Share the wealth is the 6. No pain, no gain is the 7. The 8, practice makes perfect. The 9 says, the peace of nature. And the 10, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Interesting. So that really gives you the idea of legacy and dynasty and longevity. Good stuff. Time is money is the Page. A prince among men is the Knight on the move. The Queen is eyes on the prize, and the King, immovable objects, irresistible force. That is Taurus for sure. See the bulls there? Okay. Yeah, Taurus for sure. Okay, then we're into the Wands. We have first things first with the Ace, and the 2 is the world is your oyster. 3 is bird's eye view. And 4, there's no place like home. 5 is strength in numbers. Interesting. So this, you might actually get the idea that they're building something together. The need for discipline and resolve, that everybody's got their own thing, but we need to coordinate the efforts. Cooperation, teamwork. Yep, I mean, when I see the 5 of Wands traditional, it's about, yeah, exactly that, coordinating efforts. It's like there's a lot of effort going out, but nothing is aligned. And the 6, to the victor go the spoils. 7, the courage of your convictions. 8, mixed messages. That's interesting. Action, swiftness, long-distance communication, instant messages, electronic speed. Interesting that they say mixed messages. I mean, everything's lined up the same way. 9 of Wands, the best defense is a good offense. Yeah. And the 10 is the best laid plans. So you see how everything's being planned out here. Then there's only one person to carry the whole burden in the traditional one, and then we have it all collapsing in the after tarot. So the Page, where there's a will, there's a way. That's very good. The Knight, fight fire with fire. The Queen says, speak softly and carry a big stick. And the King, might makes right. Wow. On to the swords. The sword and the stone. Look at that. Intellect, understanding, decisiveness, logic, judgment, discrimination, triumph, potency. So again, just the encapsulated keywords are very traditional, but this instant interpretation phrase at the end is interesting now. I haven't been looking at that. This one says, claim your power and use it for good. So this, the sword being in the stone, says you have to claim your power. You have to stop allowing someone else to take it. So that's very interesting. Second sight, trust yourself to make sound decisions. Okay. 2s do always talk about decisions, or most of the time. 3 of Swords, gloom and doom. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, sadder, and wiser. Yeah. The 4 says, rest in peace. Meditate, listen for messages from the spirit world. The 5, field of battle. If you must fight, then fight. A peaceful resolution to conflict isn't always in the cards. You're allowed to defend yourself aggressively if necessary. So that is about taking up arms. The 6 says, all aboard. You're about to set sail. 7, to catch a thief. Be on the lookout for tricksters and thieves. The 8 says, bound and determined. Wow. Depicts bondage and entrapment, both real and imagined. You're feeling trapped or stymied. Look for creative ways to liberate yourself. So yeah, pretty standard meanings. The stuff of nightmares. Indeed. Get whatever rest you can. Many nightmares dissolve before dawn. Most problems go away on their own. 10 of Swords, dead man walking. Oh yeah. If you're worried about being stabbed in the back, don't turn your back. Instead, turn around and face your fears. The Page is fortune favors the brave. The Knight is the charge of the Light Brigade. Off he goes. The Queen is a force of nature. You've earned the right to wear the crown of wisdom. Wow. And the King says, live by the sword. Truth is a double-edged sword. It's also heavy and hard to hold upright. Okay. Then we have additional resources here. Symbolism of color, symbolism of numbers, astrological symbolism, and the Tarot date book. Ooh, this is interesting. Let me zoom you back out again. Thank you for your patience. Play some nice music in your head while you're waiting. Okay, so here we have the Tarot date book, signs and their planetary rulers, and then the majors. So for Aries, we have the Emperor, the Tower. Here they are again. Not sure why. Oh, this is just a show. So we have the signs and planetary rulers, and then we have the major arcana cards, the court cards, and the minors, and the approximate dates that each of these stand for. Fascinating. Aries, Taurus, look, they go through all of the signs. Absolutely fascinating. Okay. Wonderful resources here. And then we have sample readings. So these actually have readings that they talk you through. Let's go to the front of the book. A brief history of the Tarot, Divine by Design, a structure of a Tarot deck, the major, the minor, the suits, the courts, the numbers, and astrological associations, how to read the cards, prepare, focus, shuffle, spread, read out loud, summarize, a note about reverses, spreads and layouts. We have the Sands of Time, which is a lot of cards, 11 cards. So we've got the distant future, the near future, the present, the recent past, and the distant past. That's a nice spread. The Time Machine, it's a 9-card spread. And that's all we have there. So I think we're just going to go with a standard reading here. Let me light my charcoal. It's been beautifully cool. Fall is finally asserting itself at the end of October. Okay. I hope you're not in a hurry. Right. Let's look at how they shuffle. I expect them to shuffle well. This is a low Scarabeo, and they in U.S. games usually do pretty darn well with stock. It's a little stiff, but I think it just needs worked with. It's pretty chunky. You see that? So, not flimsy, not overly stiff. A little tough to shuffle like that. Let me split it. And of course these have borders. I don't usually go much into the aesthetics that way because I'm not a big deck modifier. I've never cut borders from a deck, and I don't know that I would, just because big fat pain in the ass. But I have done edges. I've edged decks, and I do appreciate that, particularly when you've got decks that are dark on the back and they get nicked and you can see the white cardstock showing through. Those are the ones I tend to go after. All right, so let's take a moment and invite in guides and guardians, allies and ancestors. Thank you for being here with me. Taking a moment now to open my ears to you. Help me to bring through messages that are clear, insightful, and most importantly, practical and helpful for my viewers. Thank you so much. Let's do offer fresh water to you, and I offer to you the fire of Azrael to give us a good reading today. And as ever, I am asking, please, for some advice on how we can go from merely surviving fully into thriving and living our lives. Okay, I'm seeing 5 cards in my head, so I'm just going to shuffle for a little while and then I'll take 5 off the top. What? And they're telling me they're done being shuffled. So these are the first 3. I'm going to do it kind of this way and see how it goes. Just a second. All right. Oh, the smell is so good. So we have the sun. So what are we talking about? We're talking about joy and optimism and remembering the power of light and the power of the sun and the power of optimism. But let's go straight to the book here. I'm going to read through this whole thing. Carpe diem, the sun is the source of light and heat on earth. The key symbols. A rising sun floods the earth with light, beaming a smiling child gently to earth, where a white horse waits to carry it to even further glory. A red standard, a battle flag, is also standing at the ready. 4 sunflowers, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. 4 sunflowers, 1 for each season, have yet to raise their heads to follow the sun's path across the sky. A garden wall suggests safety and protection from outside forces. The child is chubby and cherubic with masses of golden curls. He's nude and uninhibited except for a crown of sunflowers plucked from the field behind him. During the course of the day, sunflowers keep their faces turned toward the sun as it moves across the sky. Yes, they are heliotropic. The sun in this card has a face like a child's drawing. The sun is a symbol of illumination and enlightenment, as well as consciousness and action. It's the center of the universe and the source of heat, illumination, and life on Earth. Because it's the center of our solar system, it represents the true center of every individual's universe, ourselves. Yes, just like in astrology, the sun represents the self. We can only see the world from the center of our own existence. The sun symbolism symbolizes consciousness, self-awareness, and ego. It illustrates our need to shine and our need to find a moonlight companion that can reflect our rays. That's interesting. The sun isn't reflective like the moon, but active. The sun radiates the energy and heat that the moon later reflects. Symbolically, it embodies masculine principles of energy and action, as opposed to feminine qualities of receptivity and reaction. The sun is the marker of annual events like birthdays and anniversaries, as well as solar holidays like solstices and cross-quarter days. Historically, the rising and setting sun has always been a symbol of life and death. Traditionally, the sun was known as the light of the fire, the Lord of the fire of the world. So that's the whole section on key symbols. A lot. Keywords: upright, energy, vitality, consciousness, enlightenment, optimism, happiness, contentment, enthusiasm, joy, light, clarity, glory, heat, passion, radiance, action, celebration. Reversed is sunburn, overexposure, blindness, drought, and global warming. So under astrology, we have the sun is the center of the solar system and a symbol of the self. It is the focal point of any horoscope chart. The sun rules Leo, the sign of fatherhood and play, procreation and recreation. The sun also rules the 5th house of the zodiac, which astrologers look for where astrologers look for information about creative energy and drive. Instant interpretation: every day is a new day. Every sunrise is a rebirth. Every sunset offers a reprieve. So the first message we get here on how to go from surviving into thriving is to take one day at a time, take every day at a time, and find something in that day to be passionate about, to be optimistic about, to take interest in. Star more means just hope to me. The sun can mean like a general optimistic attitude, thinking in terms of what can go right rather than what can go wrong. So the sun says we are granted a new chance on every day that dawns. And let's look from the center out and see where we go. So we have the Page of Cups and we have the Ten of Cups. All right. The Page. Shorter description I'll read through since we got a court. It's good to know how they approach, each of the sets here. Still waters run deep. The Page of Cups is the personification of water. Key symbols: still waters run deep, and the Page of Cups is a bottomless spring of thought and contemplation. In fact, according to Tarot tradition, the Page of Cups is water in human form. Okay. He wears a hat and tunic of seafoam green embroidered with water lily motif. As he contemplates the emblem of his suit, a seagull drops a fish into his cup. The Page of Cups is a dreamer. He's a young man with an old soul in the heart of a poet. He's an artist well suited to literary pursuits, songwriting, lyric composition, anything that demands an undercurrent of emotion. Because he's young and immature, his emotions can rise and fall with the tides. The sensitive Page of Cups is the personification of water. He's sensitive, gentle, and kind. He's dreamy and imaginative. He's a poet, an artist, a dreamer. So a lot of kind of reiteration that could have been kind of condensed down. A couple times we're mentioning that he's a dreamer. Keywords: upright, a kind, sympathetic, romantic, tender, sweet, gentle, dreamy, and imaginative young person, but also one who is sometimes unlucky in love. Reversed, an insincere person who tries to win support through flattery. Jealousy, hypersensitivity, and melancholy. Astrology: the Page of Cups embodies the fluid undercurrents that connect the suit of cups to the watery world of emotion. Instant interpretation: someone is offering you the gift of friendship. Okay, so let's go to the 10 here and see what we've got. And obviously they didn't get fully shuffled because these two cards are adjacent. When it rains, it pours. The Ten of Cups illustrates the need to stay together through good times and bad. I'm not going to read through the whole symbols in this because we know they're going to touch on everything. Keywords: marriage, children, home, family, peace, joy, happiness, contentment, love. The Ten of Cups is associated with Jupiter, the expansive planet of luck and good fortune, in Pisces, the watery sign of spiritual immersion. This might be a deck where I may go in and write like Jupiter in Pisces. Since we do have astrological correspondences, I think I may modify this deck in that way. Instant interpretation: the Ten of Cups is the card of family, unity, and joy. Oddly enough, our happiest moments often catch us completely by surprise. So, with the 10 and the Page here, we are really talking about relying on friendship and family. So how do we make it through with the, how do we thrive rather than survive? We focus on the positive, and we also reach out to friends and family and allow them the opportunity to be there for us. And, as we are there for them as well, and when we're all lost in our own problems and a friend calls and they're having, something awful has just happened, there's been a death in the family or something else, it really does yank us out of our own self-absorption with our own troubles and bring us into that mode of caring for and caregiving. And that is certainly a way to bring purpose to your life in the moment, and a purpose that is to serve, because serving is another way we can go from surviving into thriving. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles and the Strength card. Interesting. Okay. So the Seven of Pentacles to me just says get to work. If you want something to harvest, you need to work now. So looking at what it is we are wanting to Pardon me, wanting to manifest and getting to work on it now. So no pain, no gain, says Seven of Pentacles. It depicts the hard work that comes before riches and reward. Keywords are determination, discipline, toil and return, money, finance, business, barter, gain, profit, financial success. So interestingly, you know, the traditional Seven of Pentacles, a lot of times I would look at that and say, you know, you've done a lot and it's bearing fruit, you've worked hard, but you're exhausted. You don't care because you're you know, worn out. This is about the work that is happening now, doing the work that's happening now. It says the instant interpretation is do all you can to cultivate a bountiful harvest. So this has us thinking ahead. You know, when we're in the doldrums and we're not feeling like we're surviving, when we're just scraping by, we can think about the future not in terms of dread and what's going to come, oh no, what could happen, what if, all the bad things. We can look forward to the cycles of nature, because we know if we plant at the right time, we will harvest, right? But we have to be thinking that far ahead. We have to be planning our lives within a broader time frame and not just today. Certainly when we're in the darkest times, the darkest of the doldrums of just survival mode, it can be nearly impossible to think ahead that far. But that's where maybe just having a calendar can come in, and looking ahead in time on paper and saying, here's what I want by next year at this time. And then what do I want to say? Reverse engineering, that's the term I want. Reverse engineering that into the now. If I want this to happen at this time, what do I need to do in the now? And that's what Seven of Pentacles is saying, is look at your dreams, look down the road. What is it that you want to manifest creatively? That's the Sun card. And, you know, investing emotions into it, pulling family and friends into it, but certainly looking at what do I need to do today in order to manifest that down the road. And now let's go to the Strength card. Must be a truck backing up outside. Sorry. Beauty and the Beast, the goddess of strength, demonstrates that humility and grace can overcome brute force. The keywords are confidence, courage, power, energy, force, lust, will, self-control, self-esteem, self-preservation, animal nature, instinct, heroism, ability, and mastery. You have the heart of the lion and your courage is unmatched. So this card, I mean, you can really see how this image changes from the before to the standard to the after, because the before has her just standing up to the lion, standing in the face of, and she's got this wreath, and she's just kind of standing there watching him. She's not cowering in fear. She's not running away. The standard tarot then has her taming the lion, closing the lion's mouth, and the after shows her in a bond with that lion. So this really does talk about self-mastery and self-control in the face of things that are scary. So the other thing that we can do in order to go beyond survival is look at all of the things we've faced down in the past and look at those in terms of what we are facing now. It's like when you think about the big scary things that you've faced in your life, are the things you're facing now that scary? And if they are, remind yourself, okay, I survived the last one as well. And if they aren't as scary, remind yourself of the same thing. I've survived greater things than this. So I will continue to face down my fears. I will master myself and not let fear take over. Again, we go back to this Sun card of creativity and optimism and hope and bringing things into the light of day. Certainly, this also says take your fears, whatever they are, and drag them into the light of day, particularly if they're keeping you up at night. I know that, you know, a pattern that I will go through is I'll have something come and get me in the middle of the night. I go into an anxiety attack. I get myself back to sleep again. And then in the morning, that fear has faded. But in the morning is maybe when we need to drag that fear out into the light of day. Look at it in the form that was freaking us out when our guard was down and say, I'm going to face you. I'm going to stand up to you face to face. This is also the work that we need to do every day. The hard work of just facing down our demons and, you know, what they are trying to, how they are trying to control us. And instead, we end up in a relationship with them where we are in mastery of the situation, not only of ourselves, but of the thing that is scaring us so much. Okay? And I'm looking at the 10 of Cups here. They are running through a rainstorm. So this is talking about seeking shelter, but shelter can also be found within the family, within a context of family. Both of these Cups cards are saying to just remind ourselves of the emotional strength that we do have. And emotionally, when you feel that you are the weakest and you're absolutely falling apart is when you're really the strongest, because you're in the storm. So if you've got big, heavy emotions hitting you and you allow those emotions to go through, you allow the wave to wash over your head, those are the moments when you are the strongest, when you are letting the storm happen and letting it move through and cleanse your being. But yeah, I would say, I mean, it's a great deck. If you love the standard Waite Smith deck, I would say both the before and after should be in your collection. It does provide a very interesting exercise of just looking at the journey of each individual card from the moment before to the moment after. And I think, you know, it can really do nothing but enhance your practice with the standard tarot. So I hope you got something from that. I certainly did. It's been a while since a long time ago, I shot like all 3 decks and I was paging through all 3 decks and it just got so cumbersome. So I split it up. Check the end of the video where I will link the after tarot and you can compare them yourself. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoy these videos, and if you do, please like and subscribe and share this with other people that you think might enjoy it. There are links down below to donate or to join my Patreon. It's only $3 a month, and it just supports my channel and the work that I'm putting out here. There are a couple other links where you can donate whatever you want, and I appreciate every single penny of it. Nothing is too small. Remember that. No donation is too small, and I bless you for it. I am here every Wednesday night, mostly Wednesdays. Sometimes it gets bumped to Thursday, for readings for the signs, live stream. I love having you here on live stream because we can actually have a conversation. And if you would like to get a personal reading, jump down to the wish list below. Click on it. Purchase me a deck from that list. You can also purchase a deck from the list and add something that's not on the list, which is pretty cool. And if you send me a gift, please include in your note the question that you would like me to address. And the more specific, the better. And when I unbox that deck, you will get my undying thanks and a personal reading. So anyhow, you guys, I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you on Wednesday, and I will see you at the next unboxing. Until then, this is Luna, the Zen Witch. Blessed be.